One, two, three. Is work. Alright. Hello everybody. My name is Thành, and I'm a student at National Economic University, and my major is International Business. And so today I'm gonna help you to answer the question: is cohabitation okay in Vietnam? Let's start. Last weekend, I had a chance to do a survey with my teacher. He's the smartest person I have ever known, and our conversation around is cohabitation good in Vietnam. So let's start. Let's hear our conversation, and I'm gonna show you the answer. Sir, what did you think about cohabitation in Vietnam? Can you explain clearly to everyone how cohabitation in Vietnam works? Cohabitation in Vietnam is a consequence of global integration, especially cultural integration. When two people cohabitate, they live together without getting married, and they may or may not acquire a certificate of marriage. What do you think of this phenomenon? Is it good or bad, right or wrong, in your opinion? Cohabitation in Vietnam ultimately need to be analyzed in the Vietnamese context. For example, in America, it is a different story because cohabitation has been there for such a long time that no one opposes anymore. But because in Vietnam, it is relatively new, but when it first happened in America, it was so protest against. In addition, in America, cohabitation is not hated as much as in Vietnam because virginity is not that important. However, to Asian, especially to Vietnamese, cohabitation merely living as husband and wife, which means that the woman can't keep her virginity. A woman who cohabitates with someone but for some reason break up with him will find it hard to start everything again from scratch and find a man who hardly cares about her virginity. In addition, when put in the context of Vietnam, an Asian country that still maintains a lot of tradition, cohabitation is not entirely a good thing. For example, when cohabitate, how do we meet our parents' parents? What about those family relatives? During the cohabitation period, that entire thing is cast aside. Therefore, we may feel that cohabitation is fine and then may proceed to marriage. But when we are married, it's likely that we encounter problems with in-law. When those problems affect us, we will feel overwhelmed. Thus, the cohabitation times that not actually have the marriage after all. So, do you think that if people of our generation cohabitate, they are more pressure than those of the previous generation, our parent generation? To our parents, they can't accept the notion of cohabitation. But when it's our turn to become parents, will cohabitation become widespread and easier to accept in Vietnam? I think that depends on how quickly or slowly our society is developing. At our current speed, when we are parents, cohabitation may be entirely normal. So, do you think that people of this young generation are more accommodating than those of the last generation? In the interest of cohabitation, people are more tolerant of sex before marriage. Now people have sex before marriage and then proceed to cohabitation. If we already think that sort of thing does not actually break Vietnamese tradition, maybe our kid generation can accept it just fine. Me again, and is our conversation about is cohabitation in Vietnam. And now I'm gonna show you more details about this issue. And let's start. To help you know more detail about these issues, I'm gonna show you 5 things. First is the definition. What is cohabitation? The second is the case of cohabitation in Vietnam. So, what is the definition of cohabitation? As you can see on the screen is the definition of Cambridge IELTS. Cohabitation is the act of living and having a sexual relationship with someone, especially someone you are not married to. But I have some more detail for you about this cohabitation. The definition of cohabitation is when two people who are romantically involved choose to live together without making the formal commitment of marriage. Cohabitating couples are typically emotionally and sexually intimate. The term cohabitation is not commonly used to describe people who are merely sharing the living space, who call them roommate. That's not all. I'm gonna show you 5 terms about cohabitation. Let's start. That's not enough. You have to know more about cohabitation and some definition around that. And the first, I'm gonna show you limited cohabitation. Limited cohabitation occurs when a couple become romantically involved and begins spending more time together. It's a natural occurrence when a couple begins spending the night together at one of their homes. Alternately, a limited cohabitation can become a substitute marriage cohabitation, a premarital cohabitation, or dissolve if the relationship fails. So, what the premarital cohabitation? A premarital cohabitation occurs when a couple decide to get married but desire a trial marriage period. Premarital cohabitation can result in a marriage or dissolve if the couple discover that they're not ready to marry each other. Premarital cohabitation involves many of the pressure and responsibility of marriage, such as fidelity and marital expectation. And now we move to substitute marriage cohabitation. Substitute marriage cohabitation involves an agreement between two people to live together, stay together in one house, as if they were already married without legal ceremony. Sound weird? Over the course of living together, responsibility and expectation that are unique to their relationship will develop. And people who are previously married are more likely to refer this form of cohabitation as an alternative to marriage, especially when the previous marriage ends painfully. Last one, convenient cohabitation. And now we move to the next part, is about the case of cohabitation in Vietnam. And according to a research among 691 students conducted by Thành University of Medicine and Pharmacy, there are 45 students say that they have cohabitated before. It accounts for 6.5%, and most students who have cohabitated are the ones living in the inn and have little contact with other people. And you know what? And the most striking thing here is 100% of them confirm that they have had sex. So, can you guess what is the reason? One of the most striking reasons is that it's saving expense, because it shares the cost of living in big city. As you know that living in the big city can cost a lot of money, because everything is really expensive, and when you're living together, it's going to reduce the economic burden and let you to focus on other aspects in life, such as education, and you can shopping for yourself. The second is that it can help you to prepare for real marriage life. People always have concern about not being able to maintain a successful marriage, and living together before marriage will give you a brief view about what would life be after getting married, and all your stuff can be able to solve marriage problem more efficiency. And after that, you can avoid family fight and divorce. And I hope that after the video you have your own answer. And I know that if there's something that you don't know, please contact for me and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thanks for listening.